Hey, what is up guys, this is Cobb, and welcome to the account of Mr. Ire, dude. Mr. Ire and his fully booked Nama the Returned. Oi, 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 oi. To be fair, man, the book usage on the account is actually pretty good for the most part, man. We managed to get the Under Priest Brogni fully booked, the Physics is also fully booked. Good times, man. Same thing with the Trunda as well. This account is off to a swell little start, however, it's struggling a little bit, man, making its Spider Stage 20 clears consistent. This is the team that we're currently running into Spider. I think that we can build a team that can kill Spider in 12 seconds on this account, man. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be covering all kinds of Spider teams that you can build on out. We're also going to help out a little bit with Hydra on this account as well, and just planning teams and all of that good stuff. Oh my god, why is the Physics not geared? We've got a fully booked level 60 Physics, but she doesn't have any bloody artifacts, so we'll be farming masteries on her. Okay, so I guess we're just farming masteries up on the Physics still. Almost had an aneurysm just now. Hey man, if you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, man, in 2025, send this link to a friend or use it to yourself, man. It's down below at the top of the video description box, man. Just use that link down below to create your new Raid Shadow Legends account. And as soon as you're done with the in-game tutorial, bam, an opening starter legendary will be yours in the form of Elnarel, as well as a whole bunch of free epic champions as well as you level up your account. And don't forget that on day 1 of a new raid account right now, you can use beginner promo code Demon Slayer to jumpstart your account instantly on day 1 with a second legendary champion in the form of Thorlin. I nearly said Thorlin Bronzebeard. Thorlin Foulbeard? Foulbeard. It's definitely Foulbeard, man. Alright, I have no idea if we can actually pull this first team off on this account, if we have like the stats to do it and stuff, but I'm gonna give it a go anyways, right? The team is composed of Royal Guard and double Cold Heart. Now, it doesn't have to be Royal Guard double Cold Heart necessarily. It can be basically any max HP damage dealer. Royal Guard just happens to be particularly good for the job. You can run multiple Royal Guards in this team if you want, but you're looking for any kind of damage dealer that deals damage based on enemy max HP, right? Cold Heart, Royal Guard are great candidates for this. Royal Guard is particularly good though because he also brings an ally attack aura in dungeons, 35% plus attack in dungeons. So you can actually run him as your aura lead in a team like this and he can do great. Another budget max HP damage dealer you could choose to run could also be the Husk, who brings damage based on enemy max HP smack on his A2 as well. And so a Husk could hypothetically work just fine with enough crit damage. And well, frankly, the legendary options kind of speak for themselves as well. So yeah, I don't really need to go over like a Crizia and Nut and stuff like that, right? But needless to say, max HP damage dealers that are legendary quality can do the job as well. You then need one champion on the team that brings an increased crit damage buff. For us, this is going to be a completely free champion by the name of Archmage Helmet. You can get this guy from secret rooms in normal mode Doom Tower, right? He's the first epic champion you can fuse from just farming secret rooms in normal mode Doom Tower, so really as accessible as it gets, to be fair. Free epic champ brings that increased crit damage buff on all allies by 30% on his A3. This is key. You're going to need your big max HP damage dealer nukers to have this buff most of the time in order to kill the boss off quickly enough in just a single turn, and so Archmage Helmet can do the job. However, even better than Archmage Helmet is an extremely cute and adorable champion. Oh, isn't he just adorable? Called Mashald, right? Mashald also brings a increased crit damage buff for your whole team on his A2. He doesn't need to be booked or anything for this, right? He just needs to bring the buff. And he also brings a big old ally attack aura in dungeons as well. So if you're not running this team with Royal Guard, maybe you're running like 3 Cold Hearts or something, you know, or just like Cold Heart double Husk or whatever the hell it is, you can run Mashald as your aura lead instead. This ally attack aura is going to make it just much easier for you to hit the damage numbers that you're looking for to kill the boss in a single turn. And so yeah, if you're not running the Royal Guard, have the Mashald as your aura lead instead, and he can fulfill 2 of those roles that you're looking for. And then the final role on the team is any champion that brings both weaken and decrease defense in the same skill. In our case, we happen to have a level 50 Ruella on this account. She brings both decreased defense, weaken, and even a decreased speed, but we don't really care about that right now, on her A2, right? The decreased defense and the weaken, strong version decreased defense, very important to bring on the same skill. Ruella isn't the only option, but she is the most accessible option to bring in this role. Other legendary champion options that you could bring along would include the likes of Dracomorph, as well as, well, of course, Lydia, being one of the hardest ones to get, but, you know, she does bring those tools as well. There are very few champions that can do this role, and so Ruella is kind of like the linchpin a little bit of this build. You can get away with just having the 60% decreased defense and pull this off with high enough stats, but then you're looking to really be pushing like 300% crit damage or something on your cold hearts, you know, and that might be quite tough to, quite inaccessible if you're, you know, in like the early mid game or something, you know, it might be kind of rough to hit those stats. Now, all that's left to be done is take all the champs in this team, try and push at least like 200% crit damage on all of these champions. Then we just need the Ruella and the Archmage Helmet to be the fastest champions on the team, right? They have to go first, they have to land those key debuffs and plant those big increased crit damage buffs on all of our guys, and then they just let fly and one-shot the boss, in theory. And I do also have to go ahead and just send up the Royal Guard a little bit, just using some of the like the medium-sized potions, just to activate his aura. He does at least need to be 3-star ascended, so to speak, to get his aura active as well. And so now to make Helmet and Ruella the two fastest champions on the team, I am going to need to go ahead and just slap on some build switches a little bit for the Ruella, just to get his speed up. She's up to now 212. They have to be at least 203 speed to be fastest than the fastest Cold Heart. So I'm going to go ahead and dump those on her. And then as for the Archmage Helmet, he might just be sitting at, where the hell is he? Oh, there he is. He might just be sitting at level 1 and 4 stars right now, but that doesn't matter. Again, he's only got one job. Ooh, we got a little bit of chestplate overlap with the Ruella there. Oh, let's fix that chestplate real quick. You know what, man? Any old chestplate will do, actually. Let's just go ahead and slam at that one on him. Now, I'm a little bit worried about the Royal Guard build here. His crit damage is very, very low. I tell you what, before you upgrade these gloves, let's just see how close we get to killing the boss with this current build. He's also very, very slow as well, which makes me a little bit nervous against these spiderlings. As for the other Cold Heart, I did go ahead and plan out a build for her as well before we started shooting, so I'm going to go ahead and just tune her build up a lot to nearly 230% crit damage. Should be enough to get the job done. Let's go ahead and slam this on. We're also lacking masteries on the second Cold Heart, as well as, yeah, no masteries at all on the Royal Guard, so they're lacking that extra 10% crit damage from masteries as well. Let's just see how this does. Okay, so we've saved the team in the team planner. Spider stage 20, speed kill. Let's see if we've got enough in the tank to actually do this. So I don't think that we will, but it's one of these things that we can work on as the account sort of develops a little bit as well. So there goes all of the debuffs on the boss. There goes the crit damage buffs on our guys. Now it's time to pump the damage. Not bad, 1.4 mil, 1.5 mil, and then followed by a very low Royal Guard hit. Ooh, so we're just lacking the crit damage numbers right now. So yeah, what you're really looking for is at least 220% crit damage on all of your big 3 max HP nukers. Higher the better. I also noticed we've got Phantom Touch on Ruella. Another thing you can do is, like, on your Ruella or your decreased defense weakened champion, you can go ahead and load them up with Cruelty instead, just to reduce the spider's defense by a percentage as well as you attack on in for the first time. And all those things will combine, man, to building up a team that can, well, kill Spider in 12 seconds like this. So listen, this is literally exactly the same team on the account Takeover account as to what we are using on my main account right now. And you can see that it's a very, very easy clear indeed, right? This is what I run for if I just need to finish a Spider tournament nice and quickly and with like energy efficiency and stuff and just get it done. Like, oh my god, man. It's actually a little bit overkill, to be honest. Even the stats are just good enough on all my nukers to really pull it off. And so while sitting at like 300% crit damage on one Cold Heart and like 290% crit damage in the other Cold Heart, those stats are lovely. They're not required, right? 230, 220% crit damage on your 3 max HP damage dealers should be more than enough to get the job done. And oh my god, I don't even have a crit damage relic equipped on one of these Cold Hearts either. That's kind of ridiculous, man. Anyways, point is that this is a speed farm team that Mr. Aya can build on this account. Also because, honestly, the Royal Guard is worth building out this account anyway. It's maybe like a B-team Hydra damage dealer. Very, very solid Hydra damage dealer, and so yeah, while we're building him out up to level 60, get him all of that crit damage up, he can also function as part of this team just fine as well. The Cold Heart, by the way, can actually, like the second Cold Heart can stay level 50, man. She can do just fine. As long as she can hit like that 220% plus crit damage, she's going to be golden. Also some cruel sets and some like ignore defense on this team as well would obviously also help the nukers out as well. That's the speed kill team option. Option number 2 is just what I like to call the brute force team, which is frankly just a speed or a lead. It could be the likes of a Deacon or even like a Haikatoon, I guess in a pinch, though it's going to be harder to make it work with Haikatoon. It's not a high enough quality champion, I guess, to compete with Deacon, but point is, 2 or 3 champions on the team, one of whom is bringing a decreased speed, which of course the Rowella is doing the job of, and one of whom at least, ideally a couple of whom, are bringing 10 meter decrease to take care of the boss. This could be Coltat, it can be Armager, it could even be the likes of a Vizix. If you're at the point of your account where you've unlocked the Vizix as a login reward, she can do the job just fine as well with a lot of 10 meter steel on her A1. She also brings a decreased speed, so she's pretty good for this role also. Then the other 2 or 3 slots on your team are going to be the likes of, oh no dude, just whatever champions on your account can just hit hard as hell. That's it, and you're just going to be killing off and constantly mowing down the waves of spiderlings. Now, this is going to take some pretty well-built nukers. This account does have a pretty well-built Trunda, as it happens. And it's not going to be a fast clear, you know, it's not going to be pretty either. A quick note when setting up a team like this is that, well, this kind of goes for any team, to be honest, but your decreased speed champion, in this case again, is the Rowella. You want to have them open with their decreased speed skill, the Rowella's A2. And then you want them to just never use it ever again, right? You shouldn't ever have to be reapplying the decreased speed after the opening round. Get up the decreased speed, then you should have enough 10 meter control on the team through Coltats and Deacons and Armagers and Vizix and stuff like that to make sure that the boss never gets a 10, right? That's kind of key to this team. And then it's the job of just the damage dealers to take care of the spiderlings. And that's really it. That's all you're doing here. Now, actually, this team just doesn't work if we throw the Alice on the team. She just doesn't do enough damage. She's not built with 100% crit rate, and so we're kind of struggling to keep all the spiderlings dead. It's quite tough to do at stage 20, but it should be able to, like, this is the team that you're going to see people run at, like, stage 16, when they're farming stage 16 spider for the first time, and it can push up into 20 if your stats are good enough. However, this team, the Nuka's just not quite good enough geared, and so the Underpriest Brogni is going to come in with all kinds of shields and block debuffs and that kind of thing. And he's just going to help us survive some of the hits from the spiderlings, and that's really the crux of the team. Again, this isn't a pretty one. It's not one that I'd recommend people build. A team like this actually, look, it just gives you something to build on, right? You're going to be building out a lot of the champions that you use in a team like this into finite anyway, right? Your 10 meter controllers and that kind of thing. And so you'll end up building these champions anyway, but frankly, it's not very fun to watch. It's just a lot of spiderlings getting smacked down and then us slowly killing the boss because, well, you know, but, like, that's it, okay? On to team number 3. So team number 3 utilizes a couple of free legendary champions. Ooh, we're actually quite far away from farming. Don't be neglecting your Drexstar fragments, man. Play Tag Arena and spend your Tag Arena gold bars on getting your Drexstar fragments in the market building. These are very, very crucial to grab. Yeah, especially if you're not yet farming Spider Stage 20, because the next team that we're about to cover utilizes Drexstar Blood Twin, and it also utilizes Syl of the Drakes, who's the 6-month login reward champion. You can combine these 2 champions, put them together in a squad that looks a little bit something like this. This is the team that we're running. I'm trying to keep it as budget as humanly possible so that all these champions are just very, very accessible, right? We've got the Haikatoon as the aura lead, we've got Armager as one of our 10 meter decreases, and we've even got Siege Hulk as another sort of like just weird off-the-cuff budget 10 meter controller as well. He brings a decreased speed debuff on his A3, so we're going to be opening with that and then not letting him use that skill anymore. We're also not going to allow him to use his attack all enemies A2. Very important that the spiderlings live when you're running the Syl of the Drakes and Drexstar Spider combo, and then he brings some 10 meter control on the A1 as well against enemies that are under decreased speed. The Siege Hulk, it could be anybody. It doesn't matter. It could be a second Armager. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't make any difference. Then we're running the Syl and the Drexstar. So, why does this team work? How does this team work? Well, against Spider Stage 20, you're up against Spirit Affinity Spider. What does that mean? It means that Spirit Affinity strong hits into Force Affinity, and you'll notice that Drexstar Blood Twin is the only Force Affinity champion on this team, so that's really important when setting up this team as well. You need your Drexstar to be the only Force Affinity champion on this team. Then how are you going to build the Drexstar? Well, he's going to look a little bit something like this, right? Regeneration gear with high resistance, right? He's got to have pretty good health, pretty good defense. A resistance banner is going to help out a hell of a lot. My Drexstar is sitting at about 280 total resistance. You can go a little bit higher if you want, but 280 seems to work pretty good to resist most of the poisons. And so the only way that this team works is the Drexstar is going to be tanking all of the spiderlings, okay? He's going to be landing provokes against the spiderlings as well. The spiderlings are going to attack into the Drexstar, fail to kill him most of the time because he's healing from the regeneration set and he's resisting all of the poisons, and that's all great. But he's also got Syl of the Drakes on the team as well, who's going to be stunning a bunch of the Spiderlings also. As you can see, she's also going to be providing healing for the Drexthar every single turn. And even if the Drexthar dies, the Syl is going to revive him very, very quickly, and once again, he'll go back to tanking the Spiderlings. So how does this work? Well, every time the Spiderlings attack into the Drexthar, they have a chance of having HP burn placed against them. And once you spread HP burn to like 4 or 5 of the Spiderlings, every single time they get a turn, all enemies on the enemy team will take that HP burn damage, right? And so, yeah, you can see that the HP burns are starting to appear on the Spiderlings. Now, we've only got a couple up so far. Again, it's not a super fast clear, but what it is reliable, you know? So, again, as the Spiderlings with HP burns start to get turns, they're going to start to inflict damage across all enemies, because that's how HP burn works, right? Anytime an HP burn ticks against an enemy, it damages everybody for percentage health damage. And you just saw that against the Spider Queen. The Spider Queen just took 166,000 damage, and again, just there as well. So that's it. That's the team, right? The Drexthar can't die. He resists almost all of the poisons. He spreads HP burns, and everybody else on the team, their only job is to move quickly and control the boss's 10 meter. That's it. That's the team, you know? For me, as far as reliable teams go for farming Spider Stage 20, this one is super reliable, super accessible. Of course, you've got a little bit of waiting to do before you get Drexthar and Syl if you're just starting out in the game, but it's a lovely one to work towards and a lovely one to be aware of and just keep in your back pocket for if you are, well, inevitably going to be struggling to hit Spider Stage 20. It's one of the tougher dungeons to get started in for sure, but this is a great, great, reliable team that you can look towards building once you have these 2 free legendaries. And surely it will go down. Another HP burn. There we go, man. Okay, lovely. And as you can see, nice and reliable, not a super fast clear, doesn't have to be. Leave it on auto battle and you're good to go with a team like this. So that's a few options that Mr. Aya can go ahead and decide to build out into Spider. It's a blast through those stages, man. Now, another thing that we were also tasked with focusing on this account as well, and just mapping out some teams for and just giving some build paths to aim for, where, of course, Hydra. Just getting started in Hydra in this account, really, with what, about a dozen or so level 60 champs on the account. Very first team. Okay, so this team right here is the team that we're actually running as of right now as one of our save teams into Hydra. I didn't build this team. So for me, this team is lacking 2 core things right away. First of all, it's lacking healing. Almost non-existent healing actually on this team now that I think about it. We've got some shields coming in from Brogni, so that's a little bit of survivability there. Also lacking any means of placing decreased speed debuffs, which I know aren't the most premium debuff to bring into Hydra anymore, but for me, when you're just getting started in Hydra for the first time, they're very, very valuable indeed for just living, for just reducing the damage output of the Hydra heads if you're struggling to live, and overall, just good quality healers and cleansers and stuff on this account. It's something that we are lacking quite a bit, barring some big winners like Elva. And so for me, this right here will be the Hydra team that I would look to build towards as the A team, right? This would be like project number 1. Aim for this team on this account as soon as possible. The Vizix is actually fully booked, right? We've got to get the Elva up to level 60. Elva up to level 60 and fully booked as well is going to make a big, big splash on a team like this. She, of course, brings the revive. She brings all kinds of healing as well, just 10% healing, max HP, every single time a champion on your team gets a 10, which is just a lovely to have. She brings debuff cleanse, block debuffs, increased speed. Just a very, very, very good Hydra champion overall. Also a bit more healing as well on her Air 1 also. So Elva Autumnborn is really a fantastic, fantastic Hydra healer. She also brings the speed aura as well, 19% in all battles. I would definitely include it in this team. The Vizix is going to be a much, much more reliable provoker than the likes of the Harima, primarily because the Harima isn't booked. And frankly, I think that we've got to put the legendary books a little bit elsewhere, just for the time being. I don't think that Harima is priority number 1, not quite, on this account to get fully booked up. Next, we should definitely fully book the Harima, by the way. Great, great champion. And she's definitely going to be the provoker, probably in the Hydra B team. But for now, I think the Vizix can do just fine. The Ugo is also an absolute must as well. As much as I love this guy right here, Dune Herald Zaharis, he's more of a single target block buffs kind of guy. Places single target block buffs, he's not booked, so it's a 5-10 cooldown, and then he relies on a debuff spread effect on his AR1 to then spread the block buffs debuff to all of the Hydra heads. Not super reliable, not super ideal. Nothing like the Ugo, who's going to do a great job at just spamming decreased defense and block buffs across the whole team. Also, because we're running Ugo in this team and spreading an AoE decreased defense, I think it's much better that we just go for direct damage dealers, right? The Trunder's going to continue to do great. I would go ahead and level up the Whisper as the second damage dealer in this team. She's a great boss killer. Oh, she's actually booked as well. She's a great boss killer damage dealer. Very nice. She really benefits from enemies under decreased defense as well. All kinds of extra 10 mechanics on this champion. She's just going to smack the Hydra heads all over the place once she is level 60, particularly if we can get some red stars on her too. I think that her and Trunder will be a very good little damage combo to run. And then the Brogni can stick around for his shields and just some extra survivability on the team, because our healing is decent. It's not out of control. I think the extra shields will do us a solid on this team. Now, as for the B team, there's a lot of hand-me-down champions here, a lot of solid champions here. The Royal Guard is going to be one of the damage dealers. The Ninja is also going to be another of the damage dealers. And this team doesn't exactly run a reliable way of placing decreased defense. We'll have it on the A1 of the Royal Guard and the A1 of the Ninja, so it's fine, but that's what I mean. Like, this team is more about the Ninja's HP burns than anything, I think. Whereas the A team is going to be more of like a direct damage team with the Trunder and the Whisper and stuff like that. These three damage dealers will do just fine, however. Also, yeah, there's a Scylla the Drakes on this team. Okay, look, don't look at me like that, okay? First of all, I swear to God, there are just no healers on this account, okay? Like, the Elva is the closest thing to, like, an actual healer that we have on this account. The Syl, I don't want the Syl to be here, okay? I'd rather just, like, just any other healer on this account. We just don't have any. There's just none. Like, I'm looking for like Rector Drath. I'm looking for like Wither the Crowned, like a good like legendary healer / cleanser. A Doom Priest would be fine. It wouldn't be enough healing, but it would get us started at least, you know. We just don't have any healers on this account, man. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I guess we could actually just throw the Aniri on this team. You know, she brings some pretty good healing as well, and like a emergency revive. Maybe she'd do a bit of a better job than the Syl, but neither of them are super ideal, okay? Ideally, you're looking for a healer who also brings some other tool, like Perfect Veil on Erected Drath or whatever, you know. But for the second team, because we are running the Aura lead as Dune Herald Sahara, so we've already explored his weaknesses a little bit in his block buff, debuff, being like a single target skill, and just not the most reliable. He's a great champion, by the way. Love this champion, particularly into Chimera. Great champion. Definitely not bad into Hydra as well, but because he's bringing a less than reliable block buffs debuff, we also want to be running Kantra the Cyclone in this team. She's currently level 50. She's actually fully booked at level 50, which I can respect that, man. I see you, man. Ayo, dude. Like, this is a damn fun champion, you know. But she also brings a block buffs debuff, except for the fact that it's also less than reliable, you know. She brings a lot of debuffs. She's only got like a small chance of landing each of them though on this big triple hit at A2. And so running her alongside the Dune Herald could, you know, result in something approaching reliable in terms of placing block buffs, which is a very important thing to bring. And same thing, Kantra can place a provoke alongside the Harima as well. And so together they should be able to handle most of the provoke duties in the Head of Decay. This is a bit of a messier team, but of course it is, right? It's the B team at the end of the day, you know. The A team, this is the team and the squad that I would focus on building out first on this account, particularly the Elva as like a priority. Okay, that's all kinds of team planning done on this account, man. I think that it's coming along very well. We've got some mysteries here, like the fully booked and ungeared Visix the Unbowed is an interesting one, to say the least. But as far as team planning goes, man, for Mr. Aya on his account, I think that we've done a solid enough job, man, to where I can rest easy. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this happy little account takeover team building session, particularly focusing on the Spider. I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, right after I remind you all about the beginner promo link that is down below at the top of the video description box, man. Click on that link and use it to create a new raid account if ever the need arises. It's the best beginner promo link going to get your new account off to the best start possible. Pass it along to a friend and all that good stuff. And I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.